Okay, here we go. We're going to try something a little different and play with some energy today, a little differently than I've been doing in the past. Let's get started, Gemini. Welcome to Karma on Deck. I'm Karma Moxie. This one's for you. My partner is a Gemini. And as I've been moving forward, doing about a year and a half ago, started to do our channel here that you guys are enjoying, Karma on Deck. I was told that I would be able to learn astrology through tarot. However, I have been studying tarot and I got a little lost for a while. So what I was doing on my rant earlier was talking about begin, right? So the best way to start on any path is to begin by taking the first step. So what I'm going to do moving forward throughout each of our readings for each sign, I'm going to start talking about the sign and its qualities. So those of you that are just kind of following along and are new to astrology, you can start understanding a little bit more about the sign itself. So if you're dealing with a Gemini, I'm going to talk a little bit about what the qualities are of a Gemini and how you can follow along. And as you're walking through the channel and playing with some of the different readings, and you're not just reading your own or you're checking on your partner's sign, you'll understand them a little bit better as I describe some of the qualities of each one of the signs as we go through them each week. And then I'll be talking about the planetary alignments as well. So first thing about a Gemini, if you're dealing with a Gemini, is they're ruled by Mercury. They are an air sign. They are one of the cards that in the deck that signifies a Gemini is the Lover's card, okay? And that always talks about duality in decision making, balance as well. Some of the other cards, I wrote them down here. Queen of Cups. That is Gemini and Cancer energy, okay? We have the King of Swords, which is Taurus and Gemini energy. We have the Nine of Swords. That's the first decade of Gemini, and if you're paying attention later, that's just one of the little portions in its third, or, you know, in its portion of the movement within it, okay? I'm going to get into that much later, but the first decade is the Eight of Swords, and that's Gemini and Jupiter energy. Nine of Swords, the second decade, and that's the second decan is Gemini and Mars, and we've got Swords, which is Mercury energy with Gemini. Okay, so Gemini is an air sign. For those of you that don't know what mutable, fixed, and cardinal is something that's a beginning, okay? It's something that's like beginning of spring, beginning of fall, etc. Then we have fixed, where things grow and then are just kind of stay in that state for a while. And then we have mutable. Mutable, if you think of mutation, like the X-Men, mutable, I had a hard time with that term myself. So mutable represents change. So if you hear Gemini being spoken about as being mercurial, not only is it ruled by Mercury, it's also an air sign. And what is an air sign? Air is something that it's all about, well, Gemini in general is all about communication, thought process, and speech, okay? It's also, if you ever get really close to a Gemini, you'll know that they're really good with their words. They're all about the mind. They're going to be all about, a lot of Geminis can be even a wordsmith. My Moxie, she's a brilliant brain. She's always going a mile a minute. That's that reasoning and communication. Okay, so Mercury, if you can equate a Gemini with a planet, that's going to be how you will know some of the personality of a Gemini if you understand the personality of the planet. And now Mercury is what is traditionally called the messenger of the gods. And as we talk about that, it's day-to-day expression. They're good at being very pragmatic. Sometimes they may be a good diplomat, seeing both sides of a situation. Very interesting, very intriguing, and outgoing at times. So there are some opposites of that. And so sometimes a Gemini can be mercurial and you can find them a little bit off pattern, a little bit. And so there can be a little bit indecisive as well. So as you're looking at your Gemini, they can be adaptable, outgoing, very intelligent, but on the flip side, they can be a little indecisive. They want to gather data and analysis. And when they do that, they can get what I call analysis paralysis. Sometimes a Gemini in gathering information might appear to be a little bit nosy or gossipy and maybe judgmental, but that's because they want to find all the data to it. And sometimes you will find a Gemini that can be a little bit impulsive and they want to know everything. So anyways, that's just a little bit of a taste of what Gemini is for those of you that are dealing with a Gemini and that's not your general sign. If you're peeking on your boyfriend or your girlfriend or your kids and you want to know a little bit more about it, that's just a little bit of a beginning. So moving forward, let's get into the reading for the week. Let me know if that useful information helps you at all, or if it's a little too basic. Just give me a little feedback moving forward. So let's see what's going on with you, dear Gemini. Here we go. It was really difficult for me to talk about the sign like that because it is such a specific thing to be able to do astrology. And if you miss a certain step, it's like math. If you miss one part, you miss the whole thing. We were talking about 10th grade math this weekend. And as you go forward on math, you need to build on a foundation. So the last thing I wanted to do was give wrong information. Like, I'm the type that has everything in the crock pot and it's cooking, and I understand and I follow along. And it's been so important to me that I want you to be able to follow along too and start acquiring some of this knowledge so we can jump forward and move on to these bigger topics and do astrology as a whole. I'm much better playing with it on my own than I am teaching it, but I figure how goes the teacher goes the class. So if you guys stick with me, we're going to get this, and I want to make it simple for you. So if there's any corrections that need to be made, please feel free just to say so. So moving forward, I do see Gemini, Queen of Cups. Love is everywhere for you right now. A lot of balance. And we did talk about Queen of Cups being a Gemini card. So you have the Queen of Cups right here. We also have the Two of Cups. So Gemini right now is feeling a little bit indecisive. Gemini has also got the Six of Wands, which is victory and success. And if you notice, you have the Magician. Very interesting to me that I just talked about Mercury, because on the bottom of the Magician card, Magician is the Mercury card, there's the Mercury symbol. So I think it's kind of cool. You have the Two of Wands. Wands is a fire sign, but you also will see the Ace of Cups as well. And that's about feeling fulfilled. So Gemini is going to start feeling a little bit of fulfillment, start feeling a little bit like victory is finally at hand. I'm going to definitely say Gemini for the win this week. Three of Cups, Nine of Swords, Five of Cups. So moving forward, Gemini is having a little bit of a glitch and feeling as if they are hesitating in their step a little bit this week. You have the Three of Cups, which is surrounding yourself by family, by people that you love, like coming to ground for a little bit. And you're going to be playing with that energy so that you, this is where Gemini is going to recharge, okay, is they want to be able to feel as if they are back into alignment, and so they go home to do that right now. This week is going to be all about grounding yourself and starting out with your foundation. There's a huge move and push for Gemini to find some balance right now because you have the the Queen of Cups and the Seven of Cups. Seven of Cups is about internal balance. You have the Five of Swords, which is conflict though, and then you have the Five of Cups. That's a little synchronicity there. Five of Cups and Five of Swords. Five of Swords is all about setting your boundaries. That's speaking out when somebody's crossing a line with you. That is making sure you, that's going to bat. That's like squaring off with somebody and saying, yo, enough. You also have the Five of Cups, Gemini, and Five of Cups has that feeling of being suspicious. So it's not unlike you to be taking two sides of a story and trying to pull the truth out of either one and making sure you find that fine line, because we do have the Two of Wands. Now, the Two of Wands is devil on one shoulder and angel on the other, and there's nothing more perfect for a Gemini than that depiction of a card. So you have, it's go time for Gemini because you have the Magician card, and the Magician card is all about getting on stage, stepping into your power. And I was just talking about this on live a little while ago, and this is all about, it's go time for Gemini. You've got success on the line. You've got the Two of Coins, which is business collaboration, a job offer, money coming your way. You have the Magician. It's go time. There's no more screwing around for you this week, Gemini. It's time for you to really step into your leadership. Foundation building is huge for you. You have the Nine of Wands. You also have the Queen of Wands. So if you're stepping into leadership, Queen of Wands is illustrating that that leadership is going to require a little love and nurturing from you. We do have the Ten of Coins, balance, contracts. You're going to be playing with paperwork and legal documents, maybe even, mediation or signing some things. We do have the Knight of Wands. So you're going to be beginning some new endeavors. Have a little patience with yourself this week as you're moving forward. If you're feeling as if your voice isn't being heard with the Nine of Swords in play, just remember to have a little patience. Indecision is a decision. So as you're pushing through this upcoming week, just know that your voice is being heard just fine, dear Gemini. So I'm going to pull some cards for you for your Gemini moon reading. Remember, for those of you that are new to astrology, your sun sign is your home, I say. and your moon sign is how you think and how you feel. So we're not going to be doing your love and lovers. However, how you think and how you feel definitely affects your lovers. If you want your reading in particular about your love, lover, and relationship, book your appointment for this evening, karmaondeck.com. And let's pull a card or two for you. Two of Pentacles. You had the Two of Wands earlier, which isn't uncommon for you to have. Wheel of Fortune, which is fate. You have the Devil card, Capricorn. Hi, Gemini. You do have the 10 of Pentacles and then the 9 of Swords. Curious to ask if you, Gemini, have been restless in your sleep, because the 9 of Swords right here tells us that you are either up at night, haven't got any satisfactory sleep, you've maybe had some insomnia, or you've just been up thinking about things. If you're shooting on yourself, you've been shooting this and shooting that. You're definitely in your Gemini brain with going back and forth with things. 10 of Pentacles is the thing that you want to be building, and it's the thing that you want to be, you're working on your legacy, so to speak. If you go and look here, you do have a little bit of drama, which Gemini is very intolerant of right now. You've been having a ridiculous amount of patience with individuals, and you've been definitely pushing things a little harder in order to get them back where you want them and into alignment. So the other thing that you're feeling, and there's the Lover's card, which is the Gemini card. I'm loving that I just talked about that, about Gemini being the Lover's card, and then it's popping up in your reading, because that's really fun to see. If you notice, it has the sword in the middle, and that looks just like the Two of Wands, that you are indecisive, and you are being a big decision maker in a lot of ways. However, the frustration that you have with not being able to move other people is starting to make you feel as if you're ineffective. 8 of Swords is drama. The 4 of Cups, things aren't exactly how you want them to be. However, you're definitely paying attention to how things are in alignment and whether they're in alignment, etc. If you look here, you have both the Lover's card and the Magician, your Mercury card and your Lover's card. I love that I was just talking about that. So just for fun, I like that it's popping up. But if you're starting something new, you have both the Page of Wands and the Page of Pentacles. For some reason, Gemini, in your relationships and how you're thinking and feeling, you're feeling a little brand new. You're feeling a little awkward. However, your congruency between your prior reading with the Dragon Tarot and the Mystic Dreamer is telling me the Magician is showing us it's go time for Gemini. That's all about you stepping into your leadership and making things go. It's time. You have the Fate card. This is a beautiful reading, but I would just say not to doubt and question yourself. The 9 of Swords is you laying up at night, picking things apart, trying to find the holes in your plan, etc. Like, put that away. It's time to go. You have all the skills and talent that you need. 2 of Pentacles is indecision though, Gemini. Get on that shit. If you also look here, you have the Star card and the Fate card. So just know you're aligned exactly where you're supposed to be right now. I'm feeling very confident about this reading on both respects. It's beautiful. The only thing that I have to say about it right now is you have the Devil card popping in the top, and that's bad habits, addictions, negative self-talk, and fighting. Like, Moxie's going to kill me for launching her little catchphrase right now, but she's like, is this the hill you want to die on? Like, make sure that the topic that you're discussing, the thing that you're fighting for, is really the thing that you're willing to take a final stand on, because other than that, don't sweat the small stuff. Because right now, Gemini is all about going back and forth, and the minutia is killing you. So Gemini, let that shit go. Don't get frustrated in the pauses. Remember, when you breathe in, you got to pause before you can breathe out. So let things be. Don't force and pick them apart. Let's pull some cards for you from Divination of the Ancients and see what your little message is for the week. And then we're going to wrap up here and move on to Cancer. So let's see what's going on for you, Gemini. Like, subscribe, share, stick around. Lots more content coming, especially Coach Karma Rants. If you've noticed, I've been putting some of my rants up here for you guys to enjoy. So here we go, Gemini. Confirmation. I love that, because you did have the Star card in your reading, and you had the Fate card, and you had the Magician. So the Shooting Star recognizes that moment when you realize that things are exactly how they're supposed to be. That's you acknowledging that the signs are lining up and you're getting an opportunity to see the fruits of your labor. So continue to look for those signposts along the way that show you that you're on the right path, and pay attention to spirit, because I do believe that you're getting some of the different messages, and you're starting to know that you're starting to catch your stride, so to speak. Don't give up, Gemini. You're doing great. I appreciate you hanging out with me. Like I said, like, subscribe, share, stick around, book your one-on-one, karmaondeck.com. Catch you on the flip side, and I'll see you on Taurus.